Okay, so it's Kieran here again, and this time we are on step 3 of the Local Leverage SEO keyword research process, right? So what have we done so far? So first we kind of, did a little bit of an introduction to keyword research. Then we kind of did an overview of the entire process. Following that, we created our Excel file, right? We filled in all the onboarding details. We added the seed keywords to kind of get us started. We also looked at some of our competitors. Then what we did is, of course, we accessed Ahrefs. We talked about the importance of local keywords and also intent-based keywords versus information-based keywords, right? Then what we did in step 2 is we did our Ahrefs initial keyword research. We talked about the different metrics like volume and keyword difficulty and cost per click, right? And we started compiling a list, right, using those initial seed keywords. We also looked at Google and checked out some of the related terms to get other ideas. We analyzed our competitors, okay? We also checked to see, what they were ranking for with regards to organic keywords and looking at their top pages, right? Then what I also did was I also outlined 2 additional steps that you can go into, especially when you're just kind of getting started and learning this process. It's really, really good to go through these processes just so you can get a better understanding. But what we did is I covered the content gap and how to use that. And I also provided a tutorial from Ahrefs on how, and I also recommended the deep competitive research, right? So now, at this point, we've got our spreadsheet open, right? And we went through all the intro and the client details here. We filled all that in. Then we went and we did our master keyword list, which was our seed keywords, kind of getting us started. And we talked about how a lot of this information would come from the onboarding process. And then what we did is we actually kind of created those initial, that initial keyword research and got some really, really great search terms. So the next thing that I like to do, and this is 100% optional and dependent on whether or not the client that we're working with or on, whether or not they've had a website before, whether or not they've got any search presence. So if they've never had a website before, if they're just getting started, this step actually wouldn't apply to them. However, if they've had a website before and they're just updating it, or they're coming to us for SEO, which of course we'll know and will be communicated via the onboarding process, if that's the case, then this is something that we're going to want to do. Now, how do we do it? So let me walk you through this and I will show you exactly how. Okay, now again, this isn't something, so I should just quickly say, when I take when I've got like my initial keyword list, these are all keywords that I'm very, very interested in. When I'm looking at why is that there? Interesting. Okay, anyway, when I'm looking at so we're gonna go to keyword, I don't know why this isn't going down, but anyway, so we've got our keyword current website rankings. But sometimes, I'll look at this, I'll look at the current website rankings and I'll check it out here, and what I'll see is I'll actually see that, there's really nothing that they're ranking for. It's really not that great, right? And that's okay, but still we want to know. So let's just go ahead and just do it ourselves, and I can show you how. Okay, so we've got roofingcompanybrantford.com. Okay, so we've got it there. Excellent. And I want to make sure I'm on Site Explorer. Okay, I'll put it in there. And there we go. Okay, so it's going to start giving me all of these details right here. Okay, so what do I want to do now? Well, the next step that I want to do is following this. Now what I want to do is I want to look at what their organic keywords are. Okay, that is what I want to do. I want to know what all of their organic keywords are. And what I also might want to do is I might want to check out top pages, right? I want to see which pages are ranking the best. So I see, okay, this one's ranking for 24 keywords here. What's it ranking for? Okay, that's pretty interesting. So maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here. I'm going to go to my organic keywords and I'm going to export this. Okay, so I'll export this to an Excel. Then I'm going to open up this Excel. But I want to pay special attention to that main page, which really does seem to be, which makes sense why it would, but just for an example, it really does seem to be ranking quite well, right? So I'm just going to copy this. Okay, and then we're just going to pop over here, and I might need to actually just modify this slightly, but we'll find out in just a second. Yeah, okay, so we got right here, so perfect, it's correct, right? So we got all the right stuff here. But what I want to do is I'm seeing, look at all these keywords that we're ranking for on this main page. This is something that I want to keep in mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to highlight these because I want to be like, okay, those are things I want to keep in mind when I'm actually siloing out the content which we're going to do in an upcoming step. So I'm going, okay, look at all these different things that we're ranking for with this particular page, right? Because and I'll actually show you this in a bit, because here's the thing, we know that what is that search term that we really like, right? So if we come over here and we look back, if I put my here, so if I go over here and I go to our master keyword list, or sorry, Ahrefs keyword list, one of the things that we realized was it was Brantford Roofing, right? That was the one that was really, really, really powerful. Well, one of the things that we're realizing, if we come over here, we're actually seeing that this one is ranking for Brantford Roofing by way of video, right? It's ranking by way of video. So we're actually doing it because of a video that we've created, but we already know that this page, this main page and look, it's ranking roofing company per image. We know that it can rank for this search term. So what does that mean? That means that, oh, maybe because of the fact it's already ranking for this search term, Brantford Roofing by way of video, it for sure could rank for Brantford Roofing for just standard search, organic or local, or even image, or even questions, right? So what does that mean? That means when we go to that next step, we're going to be like, okay, well, if it's already ranking for video, if it's already ranking for video, then of course, it doesn't matter whether it's video or audio or text or image or local or organic, it doesn't matter. We know that this page can rank for it, along with a number of other things. So that parent keyword, boom, that's again, it kind of brings us back. That's a very, very, very powerful keyword that we are going to want to use, okay? So now, again, what do we have here? We've kind of got all these different ideas, right? So we got here, and then, so I'm just gonna take these right here, perfect, and I'm just gonna highlight those, excellent. And there we are. So we've got that right there. Great. Okay. So now all of these ones we know are all ranking for that main page, right? And look, if you actually see, it's all these other location pages that are actually ranking. So that gives us some insight as well, because that is going to help us to create those other pages by way of the siloing the content that we're going to do in that next step, which is really going to be very, very powerful. Okay, so anyway, I like to put this here, and really, like I said, this isn't something where I'm just like pushing or putting everything out. This is something that the way that it would work is it's for organization, okay? So you're able to look at this and you're able to there's just some interruptions here, but take this information, and you're not necessarily going to take this information and put it somewhere, but you need to know what all these words are, these keywords are, that are all ranking with this one page. This means that this homepage could technically rank for all of these words plus more. So we want to obviously create a parent page, right, that looks after that parent term. And then we know we can rank for all of these as well. So that's great. Okay. So anyway, please, this isn't something, like I said, that you're going to put somewhere. This is more something that I like to do for reference. It's like making sure I've dotted all my I's and crossed my T's. So when I begin to actually create and build that site, and create and build that outline story and start grouping these keywords together, I know exactly like what I want to focus on, what I need to leave, right? So I know that currently the roofing company Brantford's main page is actually ranking really, really well. So, I'm not just going to want to go in there and start changing everything, and all of a sudden they're going to lose rankings for a ton of different keywords and some very, very good ones right here, as you can see, right? Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, how can I build and improve this, and how can I put more focus on that parent keyword term, that if I rank for that, number one, I'm going to get the vast majority of the volume, but number two, it's also going to allow me to rank more powerfully for a number of the other keywords associated or connected to it, right? That is the power of this. Okay, so anyway, that is the entirety of this portion of the video. If you have any questions, I'd just leave them in the comments below. Thank you so much. Bye bye.